Okay, whoa, stop. Two things, just two things, then we'll get into this life-changing video, okay? Can your stupid brain handle that? Apparently 15% of you have already clicked off, according to my stats, so I guess not. Number one, okay, I know my face looks incredibly red. I went outside today. My bad, guys. As much as I love comments, especially if they're negative because they bait engagement up so much, I just want to address this before literally everyone comments about it, okay? My face is red. And number two, we have built out a website and now we have a Discord running. So click the link below, get access to the Discord. We have a whole community there. It's going to be crazy. With that out of the way, this video is different than every other video I have done. Every other video I've done has been aimed at drivers, either for drivers to find something to relate to or for drivers to find something to learn from. But this is completely different. So yes, you guys can relate to this video as drivers, but this one is for the passengers. So send this video to your best friend who you drive everywhere. Guys, send it to your girlfriend who you drive everywhere. I would say the reverse, but statistically 49 out of 50 Jimmy Drives viewers are in fact men. But yeah, this one is a PSA for anyone that is ever a passenger in the car. I'm about to speak every single frustration someone who has driven you has ever had. Okay, everyone's favorite part, the tier overview. We started just let it slide. I just let these ones slide. Are they annoying? Yeah. Let them go. Annoying. Rage bait. We're bringing that tier back from a previous one. Bottom 0.001% passenger. These got to be like some of the worst passengers of all time. And then finally, a lifetime ban. If any of your passengers do these, just never drive them again. Okay, kicking off, we have passengers leaving trash in the car behind. I wanted to get this one out of the way because this is just such an obvious one. Pick up your trash, okay? It is not that hard when you're collecting your stuff to leave the vehicle to be like, hey, the trash, also my stuff. Let me go throw it away quickly so it's not just sitting in the car. Especially for those of us that like to keep our car clean, it is just so annoying and disrespectful. Take it out with you like you do your keys, wallet, and phone when you're done in the vehicle and go throw it away. Don't leave it in our cars. This one, it's rage bait. It's annoying. I mean, at the end of the day, we can just throw out the trash, but it's very annoying. Next up, oh, holy, okay? This one I did not know I was doing for the longest time back when I wasn't a driver, and then I realized how painfully annoying it was. This one is grabbing the doors by the glass when you're closing the vehicle. So what a lot of passengers will do is when they are exiting your vehicle, after you have so generously driven them somewhere, they'll say bye, grab the glass, close the door from the glass, like it's some door handle. No, it's not a door handle. The door handle is the door handle. The glass is for seeing through. So if you're putting your sweaty paws on the glass, don't do that. Not going to overcomplicate this one. This is a bottom 0.001% passenger. Backseat driving. We got to get all the obvious ones out of the way. Backseat driving. Basically, people will see you driving and maybe there's something they do different behind the wheel. So they will correct you and say, oh, why aren't you doing this? Why are you doing this? It's so annoying. Stop. I know it's tempting, right? When I'm a passenger in the car and the person who's driving me is like doing some blatant war crime of a driving habit, let's say clogging the left lane, every bone in my body wants to say, hey, bro, move over. And then I realize this person is gracious enough to drive me somewhere. Why would I tell them what to do? Plus, the natural consequences will speak for themselves. Like if that E90 cuts around and brake checks them, and they're like, hey, why'd that happen? I'll tell them then, but I'm not going to be like, you're clogging the fast lane. There's just no point. However, there is a caveat to this, and that is when it is a very important backseat driving call. Let's say you don't see some kid crossing the street and you're like, whoa, watch out. That's valid backseat driving. But for the most part, backseat driving is super annoying. However, there is that caveat where it could be kind of, life-saving or very important. I'll balance it out at annoying. Okay, vaping in someone else's car. Bro, come on. The year is 2026. You're still vaping. First of all, that's a problem. Doing it in someone else's car. My car? Unbelievable. Next up, we have immediately hopping on aux. So sometimes I like to offer music to my passengers. Be like, hey, you play some stuff, But some people will hop in your car and instantly insist that they want to play their music. They will just hop on the aux without even asking. And, if we all had universally good music taste, that wouldn't be a problem. But we don't, okay? And so many people just end up playing the most trash music that completely kills the vibe. If you are granted the privilege of aux, that probably means that the driver trusts you enough and your music taste. But if you just forcefully hop on it, dude, no one wants to hear your music. This is like the easiest way to kill the vibe of a drive. Like the worst music possible is playing in the background. Rage bait. Next up, this is a really interesting one, okay? And I want you guys to hear this one out in its entirety, and that is passengers not offering gas money. Now, first of all, let me just say that if you are constantly that guy who's asking for gas money whenever you drive your friends to like whatever function you're going to, whatever, you come across as super tacky and cheap, okay? Don't ask for gas money. And as the passenger, you know, someone's picking you up on the way to something, you're kind of on the way, don't offer gas money. But what I'm talking about is when people demand like, hey, can you pick me up from the airport like an hour away? Can you like swing by my place on the other side of town and bring me to work, right? Driving people these big distances that are completely out of your way expends the two most valuable resources, that being time and money. So if you are a passenger, putting someone in this position, asking them to take you somewhere, offer gas money, okay? I would personally probably refuse it, but it's the sentiment. And the driver, if they're classy, will likely decline the money, then offer, you know, treat them to lunch or buy them a coffee, just something. So do I think you should always be offering gas money, you know, when someone's just driving you a short distance quickly? No. But I think as a passenger, it doesn't hurt to offer these things, even if you know they'll probably reject and say like, nah, don't be silly. The sentiment means a lot to the driver. And honestly, the reason I say this all is because I think it is annoying. I think it's an annoying habit when people don't do this, you know, driving 2-3 hours out of town to pick someone up, don't even say anything. Like, come on. Next up, we have passengers that roll down the window without even asking, okay? A lot of passengers will slide into your car, be like, oh, what's up? Immediately go to roll down the window, okay? Why? Now, if I, as the driver, wanted the windows rolled down in my car, I would have done so, okay? I have control over all 4 of them. If you, as the passenger, want the window rolled down, now this one's a little weird, okay? I'm going a bit out there with this one. Try this viral hack. Write this one down. You're going to say these words. Ready? May I please roll down the window? And in turn, the driver will respond with one of 2 responses. 1, yes. And 2, no. Wait for the air conditioning to kick in, you impatient piece of shit. Like, dude, just ask, man. This one's so annoying. Like, I don't want to have to put the child lock on. And something like windows can be really annoying if you don't want it, like on the highway. So this is going into rage bait. Next up, your passenger not putting on the seatbelt. Sometimes they'll be picking up someone and for some reason they just won't put on their seatbelt. Now, for me, putting on my seatbelt is as automatic as breathing. I cannot remember the last time I consciously put on a seatbelt, but somehow some people you pick up have not made this a habit yet. They'll just hop in your car, close the door, and then you'll start driving. Then they'll be like, yo, what's up, man? How you been? They'll be like trying to dap you up in the background. I'll just be like, ding, 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 ding. And they'll be like trying to like converse with you, which, you know, of course, but the background is just the chime going off and off. And it's like, how have you not picked up on this yet? And more importantly, how is the seatbelt not an automatic habit for you? However, there's the simple method of just asking. Usually I'll just say like, yo, put on your seatbelt, problem solved. For that reason, I'm going to put it and just let it slide. Although that's assuming they comply and put on their seatbelt. Then there's the people who are like, oh, I'm too cool for my seatbelt. Like, oh, dude, you really putting on your seatbelt? That's crazy, man. Come on. Mr. Safety over here. Like, dude, it's a seatbelt. Like, it is just concerning that you don't want to be saved in the possible event of an accident. Next up, we have passengers messing with the driver functions of the car. So when I was a really young kid and my first friend got his license, I was so guilty of this. And now that I have been behind the wheel and I've experienced this a couple times, like, I want to apologize to him. Like, Cameron, I'm sorry. Okay, you didn't deserve that. Basically what some, usually just very immature people, no functional adult does this, think it's funny to start messing around with your functions of your car. The most common one probably being honking the horn, or even worse, messing around with the wheel or the gear shifter or something. Dude, I am driving the vehicle. Let me be, okay? Driving can be stressful, especially if there's like 6 people talking in your ear, and if one of them's leaning over to like mess with your stuff. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Lifetime ban. Next up, we have the passengers that freak out and overreact at literally anything. Let me paint the picture. You get into some maybe stressful close call. Maybe someone cuts you off and you got to slam on the brakes to avoid an accident, right? But because you're an attentive driver, because you watch me, you're prepared for these situations. Now, what you should be as a passenger is be like, oh, nice. Or like, just say nothing. Even better. But what some passengers will do is they will start geeking out at these small things, like they're your mom. They'll gasp, they'll freak out, they'll be like, dude, they'll yell, all this stuff when it's like there's no point. And when it's your mom, that's fair. It's your mom. Moms have a right. They have the pass to do this one. Moms are exempt from this one. But it's like your homie where it's like geeking about the smallest thing. And it's like, man, let me drive, okay? Especially if it's a stressful situation. They're out here like all freaking out that something happened. No, okay? I'm behind the wheel. You should be thanking me for saving you from that, okay? It should be like, thank you for braking in time so we didn't get into a forward collision. This drives me up the wall. Bottom 0.001% passenger right here. Finally, we have eating in the car. Now, look, eating is essential. We all got to eat, but could you not do it in the car? Like just eat before, eat after. Step outside to eat. I'll pull over. Like, just don't eat in the car, okay? Even if you're clean, like, there's always going to be crumbs, and is the most annoying thing, or worse, like a dollop of sauce that could actually stain the seats. It's going into annoying. That was all for the video. Join my Discord, link in the description. I love you guys.